Let's record for the second league. So exclamation deck list. All right, so this league we're playing some 4-color Shadow because our good buddy Ramo wants us to. Some of the benefits of going 4-color over something like Jund, like we just played, or Rakdos Splash Green, I gotta catch myself, is the access to counter magic like Stubborn Denial, Drown and Lock, in this case Delay as well, giving you some interaction for a lot of those unfair non-creature spells like we just saw ad nauseum, being able to interact with something like Spoils of the Vault or Phyrexian Unlife on the stack can very easily swing one of those matches in your favor, as well as being able to interact with things like Teferi Time Raveler that are really annoying, Path to Exile, Fatal Push, all those interactive spells. And you get to keep a lot of the same threat density. Like, you lose out on Swift Spears and Bomat Couriers, but we get to pick up Traverse the Ulvenwald, which lets us more consistently see some of our big payoffs, like Scourge of the Skyclaves, Lurrus, our Shadows. So we're going to run it like this and see what happens. Go away. Go away. What do we got for round number 1? We've got a waiting list. We've got if they're on a creature deck, this is pretty good. Nah. Just like not aggressively losing our life enough. And there's no guarantee. I'd rather have something more proactive on the play. Not this either. Like on the play in the blind game 1, we're really looking for like hand disruption into threat. Alright, so I'm going to lead on Polluted Delta here. Because if I need to Stubborn Denial, I can get Watery Grave or Breeding Pool. If I lead on Bloodstained Mire and I have to Stubborn Denial, it means I have to get Watery Grave. So this can't get a green-red source to round out my 4 colors. But if I get Breeding Pool off of this, I can get Blood Crypt off of this, and I've got all of my colors covered. Spirebluff Canal. So, could be like Storm. It could be Red-Blue Prowess. Bloodstained Mire makes me think it's more likely to be Prowess. But Bloodstained Mire pass makes me unsure. I could play out the Shadow here as a 1/1, but I don't really want to play it into like every burn spell imaginable, just blindly. Could be Storm with fetch lands. All I know is the more cards they're putting in their yard here, the better Drowning Lock's getting. So if it is like blue-red Prowess, we're getting to the point where we might be able to like Drowning Lock a Stormwing entity, which is pretty sweet. Alright. So this is making me want to get like Breeding Pool, Watery Grave off of these. So I've just got a lot of blue spells in hand. All right. So now I can for sure Drowning Lock a Stormwing entity. I'm kind of hoping they just go more in on this Soul Scar. All right. Do I want to just traverse for a swamp or something? That's probably fine, right? Just give me like more mana over the upcoming turns. Maybe I want to like double spell or triple spell sometime. Yep. If they go like Manamorphose double Stormwing, that's going to be pretty rough. Alright, who am I killing? Soul Scar because it's less damage. Never mind on that one. Am I dead? I think I'm dead because I didn't get a forest off of that traverse, so I could have just gotten basic swamp. So it's like if they decide to go all in on it, because if they just go like don't flashback darts, take 5, pass. Or they just had a lot of sandbag spells. Alright. Not you. Yeah, we'll just go like this. I really want Lurrus as my companion in this matchup because it's the kind of card that I want access to like every sideboard game. That's a pretty important part, I believe, to the match. I think I have to ship this. Like, delay's only good when you're putting a clock under it. And like, we're answering the big dude, or the little dudes really well, but we're not answering Stormwing. Manamorphose off the top, eh? So I do have Manamorphose into Stormwing on turn 2. So I think I'm just going to slam down Tarmogoyf. So if they find like an answer to this, it means that I get to traverse for another threat. They kept in mutagenic growth. Land that makes blue. Not a land that makes blue. So Dismember also turns on Traverse. No. We can't be this lucky, right? Did they draw like second mutagenic growth? Because I know about this one. They did not. I'm going to call that a punt. A braid. Okay. Not 100% sure what that's doing in their deck post board. I might just want to traverse for a blue source. I kind of like that, actually. Just like, alright, I'm going to outrace this Swift Spear. My goal is just to keep you off of, like, burn spells and things. Yeah, Scourge would have been fine. But I kind of like the idea of just unlocking all of my hand. It's like they don't have a lot of good ways to get a Tarmogoyf off the board. And now that I'm just like untapping with counter magic, like obviously finding the removal spell is a plus there. But just opening up those stubborn denials is pretty big. Why does my burn opponent reveal their hand of 3 burn spells when I win? Are they that upset I played 2 Radiant Fountains? Yes. Yes, they are. So who plays Radiant Fountains? Obviously, the only time I'm upset against Amulet Titan is if they play like 2 or 3 Colony Gardens. I'm just like, who hurt you? Fiery Islet, no 1-drop. So looking for removal spells. Bobble. Bobble's probably fine. Here, just trying to stop a Stormwing entity from coming down on turn 2. How lucky do I feel? It's like the Opt obviously is digging them much deeper to like Stormwing. The Manamorphose is enabling the Stormwing. Yeah, I don't know this Abrade thing either. It's not that I hate taking the Morphos, it's just like the Morphos isn't scryed to the bottom. The Morphos is only seeing 1 card where the Opt is seeing 2. And like if they're looking for a specific thing, like in this case a creature, then getting to see that extra card is pretty relevant. Wooded Foothills on top. A little less excited about that one. Bolt me. You got it. Just take the Lava Dart because they don't currently have a way to flash it back. And we'll just go get a tapped Watery Grave here. So we're 3/4 of the way to Delirium. I could always thought seize myself and take like a Stubborn Denial just to have it online. I don't think I'm that desperate yet. Just need opponent to give me something that I can Stubborn. I guess maybe next turn I consider like casting Traverse, stubbing my own Traverse, paying the 1, and getting it online. Like I also just have add Lurrus to the hand. I have find a removal spell to turn on Traverse. Let's just go add Lurrus to the hand. I think that sounds a lot better. I wouldn't mind getting to soft stub and a Braid on this Lurrus. That would be muy caliente. So many baubles. So many baubles. Alright, what do we got coming off the top for you? Another Swiftspear, sure. They might have braided your bauble. I mean, I'm not cracking it. Not when we don't know their next card. Or their card after the Swiftspear, I should say. Alright. Good draws are good. So either one of these will turn on Delirium. Preferably I get to stub this a Braid. Hiya. Ha 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 ha. Baubletron assembled. That's all it takes. It's all 4 of them. Honestly, I'd say Baubletron is more impressive than actual Tron. They only have to get 3 different lands, and they've got like 20 ways to search them out. We have no ways to search out Bauble. Turn 6, soft stub feels good. Feels even better when it's involved with like Fulminator, Surgical, your opponent's Tron lands, and they just like turn 7 hard cast a Karn, and you get to go ha 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 ha. And yes, I have gotten to be a part of that spectacle before. All right. Play to win. Love it. Oh, I would like an actual threat in here. But the disruption's kind of good, too good to throw back. Alright, so we know we're probably Thoughtseizing turn 1. So that lets us know if we're up against like Burn, maybe we don't want to fetch and shock to Thoughtseize. More Bant Stoneblade. So are we taking On Thin Ice? Are we taking Stoneforge? Guess we'll just take On Thin Ice. Make Tarmogoyf a little beefier if we find one. Drown in the Loch. Beware of the squirrels. I've seen Toski showing up in so many lists recently. It's kind of hilarious. I don't think that was a card on anybody's radar week 1 is like, oh yeah, this is really good. I guess if I'm saving this for Toski, then punished. Punished so hard for saving you for Toski. Also oddly punished for playing Stomping Ground. Usually I don't play Stomping Ground in 4-color. And alright. Back on the rewarded side. Alright. So is there any way we can bait our opponent into doing something bad? I think I want to just go Lurrus. Yeah. Lurrus, they Spell Queller it. I dismember the Spell Queller, get back Bobble. Or they just Mana Leak. Okay. Hierarch, sure. Alright. So at the moment, we're at point A. We want to get to point B, which is our opponent being dead. What's our shortest line to get there? If we play Death Shadow, and they Spell Queller. We dismember the Spell Queller, pay 4, go to 6. Get our Shadow back. They go to their turn, they play Stoneforge, get Feast and Famine. Cast Feast and Famine. We can't drown Queller. We only have Watery Grave and Overgrown Tomb is our black sources. So if we cast Shadow, we've only got one black source left. and we can't combine that black with a blue source. So if we shadow in the Queller, we have to dismember. Too many forests. Yeah, like I said, I don't normally play Stomping Ground, so like not having enough black sources is very strange and confusing to me. So we let this resolve. And we dismember. No, my shadow opponent. Cast. Say go. And if we draw a fetch land, we kill them. Or they do that. Our window, she was ripped away. Alright, our window is kind of back. Calm down, opponent. It's just a game. It's just a game. Put in Batterskull. Don't put in Batterskull. You die. Oh. All right. This is our life now. Opponent, I'll show you yours, or I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Double TBR should quadruple damage. Yeah, but we can't cast double TBR, unfortunately. It's always Teferi. Why do they always have to have Teferi? Alright. Every time we don't know one card, it's turned out to be one of the best possible. You obviously don't pay enough attention when I stream. That's kind of the common theme here. What can opponent have that messes me up the hardest? Because that's what's in their hand right now. Alright, what's less exciting? Delay, because I'm probably just not taking advantage of the time we're buying with it. I don't know how many like on thin ices they're running. Something like that. So I've got to do my my call to action. So thank you everybody for hanging out on the stream today. Appreciate all the continued support and optimism. if you're enjoying the content and you want to see more, feel free to hit the follow button. It doesn't cost you anything, lets you know whenever we go live so you can come hang out, check out some sweet Death Shadow action. That's like 99% of what we play on the channel is Death Shadow. That's all I got. That's as good as I can make my call to action. If you're expecting more, I'm sorry. I'm a failure. Alright, so we get to do a fun little bobble trick here. Bobble yourself, see if it's something you like. If it is, you can keep it on top and draw into it. If it's not, you can fetch it away. Oh my god, it worked. Tron Travolta, the real Captain Wacky, Madden HS, thank you so much for the follows. Hope all of you are having fantastic mornings, evenings, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I think I do want another hand disruption spell. Yeah, we'll keep that on top. Give a little thought sizzle. Mana Leak to Fairy, double Hierarch. So let's go Mana Leak. Next turn we can take to Fairy. Or we just get to take it all. I want it all. I want it now. Elder Karkaroth. We're out here playing Magic. Opponent's playing 3D chess. That one. So Street Wraith next turn turns on Traverse, so we can Wraith Traverse for a shadow. Play the shadow, have Dismember. I swear to God, if you top deck the Fairy. God. Why must thou do this, opponent? I've done nothing to thee. I have done nothing to thee. Literal nothing. Why doth thou hate me so? Yeah. Alright, they don't have a lot of this. I know they have double Hierarch. I don't think have played lands that I knew about. How quickly do I need to traverse for a land? That one. I could. Nah, Collector Roof doesn't really do anything here. Just need to get another shadow. Say go. Can't really afford to attack. I know their last card in hand is a Hierarch before this turn. Calm thyself. equip a sword to... Equip a sword to something. Hierarch. Sure. How does it feel being the bad guy? I wouldn't know. I've never been the bad guy. Always the outstanding gentleman. Alright. What's my plan here? I could, like, attack, play shadow, attack, play Scourge, attack, play Shadow Scourge, just play Shadow Scourge, pass. Like, I kind of want to hold up this this Drown in the Loch. So I guess I play to that. So assume this is going to be put in Batterskull. They're just going to wait. All right. All right. Do I have attacks? Let's say I attack with both. They put in Batterskull. Attack with both. They put in Batterskull. Batterskull blocks 1. They go up to 19. They take 10, go down to 9. I play Scourge. They untap. They've got Toski, Stoneforge, Hierarch. They could bounce the Batterskull into turn. But the important part is, like, they don't have a lethal attack on the way back. Like, they'll probably get to draw a card off the Toski. I can't really stop that, but I think it puts me in, like, the best position to potentially win after that. Or if they put in Batterskull and then equip it to Toski next turn. They'd be gaining 5. God, can I just, like, not beat that? A Vigilant Toski with a Batterskull? I think that's the case. I think I just, like, can't beat a Toski with a Batterskull. We'll see what happens. Maybe I can. Okay. I'm not dead on the crackback. I get drowned in the lock on the germ token. Do you have the counterspell? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, they absolutely should have equipped the Batterskull on Toski. Like, that would have messed me up hard. I think I want Battle Rages, actually. Yeah, like, I couldn't target the Toski, or I could target the Toski with whatever, but I wasn't killing it without a Dismember. So the sword, fire and ice on the Toski didn't matter in the slightest. Winning game 1 versus Stoneblade is huge. That was game 2. We lost game 1. I just can't bring myself to do it. Like, I know it's bad. And I was thinking, why didn't you just scoop? No, if he'd gotten Feast of Famine, like, that game would have been over a while ago. Alright. Just a little Hierarch action. Alright, so there's 2 lines we can take here. We can take, or we can push the Hierarch to try to stop, like, turn 2 Teferi. Or we can just fire off an Inquisition. I think I want to just start going for, like, payoffs here. Gonna, like, force a negation. They did keep in force of negation. That's one I don't necessarily agree with. So I'm going to take the force because they can hard cast it next turn. And I want to for sure get this Jace. Well, I've got to take the Force because if I take the On Thin Ice and I go to Thoughtseize next turn, like, they just get to keep Jace. They just hard cast Force, and I can't get Jace out of hand. And if they're getting to keep Jace around, like, I'm not winning this game. Delta for a Delta. Double On Thin Ice. They don't have a snow land at the moment, which is kind of funny. Like, obviously I can't bank on them not drawing a snow land for a while, but there you go. There's your snow land. But maybe there's a world in which they... There's a world in which they don't find a second snow land quick enough, and I find an Assassin's Trophy, and they have to, like, double thing or On Thin Ice on the same land, and then I get to trophy that land and get my stuff back. It's kind of a narrow line, and I don't think it's going to work out that way, but... No point in hanging on to things in hand at the moment. Silvagus, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. So their last card is a Batterskull. Really wanted that to be hard cast Batterskull. Now we like need a removal spell. Ugh. Attack both, rip K command. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? What's a nice way of saying their draws have been a little bit better than ours? Like Ice Fang, Toski, the Snowland. So we need to find like threat plus removal. Huh. Oh, man. This is an awkward one. So it's not so much about like, do I want to get a shadow back with K command? It's about how do I want to sequence this to play around the most things possible. Like, my opponent didn't play out a Batterskull last turn. Or did they do that because they're banking on Toski winning? Or did they do that because they have something to cast here? Because, like, if I go K command, shoot Hierarch, get back a shadow, play shadow, hold up stub, that's great, but I just die to Icefang Coatl. If their last card is Icefang Coatl, and I can do something like trigger on the stack, K command, shoot it, make them discard Batterskull, Assassin's Trophy a land, get back a shadow. That's a pretty big blow. Do I need to use this? I don't even have a shadow to get back. I just got a Scourge. I mean, playing at instant speed like has its ups and downs. Like if I get to respawn, as I mentioned to them, like playing Icefang Coatl, getting back or hitting them with the draw. Alright, so let's see. I think I need to trophy on their upkeep. Like, if they have an answer to trophy, this is all for naught anyway. So, if I trophy on their upkeep, and they don't have an answer, I'm not bothering holding up the K command, because the K command doesn't matter on their upkeep. Like, I just want access to Stubborn Denial. right. So I really just want to like stubborn denial this Batterskull. So if I get to stub Batterskull and then untap and like K command, kill the Hierarch, make them discard or something. And that's pretty solid for me. Stubborn denial off the top. Do you have mana leak? Alright, this is fine. I can K-command the Batterskull and kill them. Deal. Deal. Well, Toski has to attack each turn. Attacks each combat if able. So, destroy an artifact. I guess we're just getting back. Return Scourge, destroy Batterskull. Yeah. It's like Toski and blocking, not the greatest combination in the world. Alright. That was a fun one. So we had to fight through double on thin ice, Toski, Batterskull, Jace, Icefang Coatl, Mana Leak. Nice indeed. Nice. What a pro. Only on weekdays. Ugh. This hand's pretty bad. This hand is solid. What am I putting back? So Wooded Foothills can get Breeding Pool, but it can't get Watery Grave. Can get Blood Crypt. Oh, we're up against Fran. So we're just going to put back Lightning Bolt. And kind of hope we can get a Breeding Pool off this to potentially counter like an Amulet. You know what? We're not messing around with it. It's not that I think I'm particularly afraid of the card. It's that I've got the chance to be mana efficient, so let's do it. Explore. Yep. Bojuka Bog. Freed, I'd love to know what what the odds are of Amulet having Bojuka Bog in their opening hand and why they always have it against me with a Tarmogoyf. Also, what is the reasoning for this Adventurous Impulse? So he's sandbagging the Amulet. Oh no. All right. Pact, you say? So what's my best draw? Like a trophy? Cavernon Giant, sure. All right. So he attacks with Titan. Has to assign at least 5 to the Shadow, or the Shadow lives. Or I guess he gets +2/+0, so he doesn't have to assign 5. He's got to assign a 7. No, 6. Math is tough. Yeah, 6 to the Shadow. Man, who's glad that Field of the Dead card's gone right now? If he was able to just get, like, Field of the Dead, something else, game ends on the spot. No chance of your opponent messing up from that point. We'll see what he gets before we decide on any blocks. I mean, obviously we have to, but like if he doesn't get a way that shows he kills us right here, maybe we don't block. Colony Garden. So what are our outs? If we block... Let's see. Yeah, TBR is an out. I guess TBR is an out that like we don't have if we block. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah. All right. Delays are great. Trophies great. K commands are okay. Everything else is kind of meh. Lurrus is pretty bad. Traverse is pretty bad. Mainly because of like Bojuka Bog. You're just not able to set your graveyard up for like long-term success. Probably rather have Lightning Bolt over Push, or Lightning Bolt over Drown. Just being able to turn on Scourge possibly is a consideration. Yep. Titan Dryad, you say? How bad do I want to get value off of this Dismember? Probably not bad enough to not just Inquisition it next turn. So Bog was the draw for turn. Sure. I could wait for their turn to like Fatal Push with Revolt active. But I really want to just like force them into this Radiant Fountain and give myself the chance to top deck like another fetch land or a shock land, Wraith, something like that, to just have lethal. Alright, one way to lose life. It's not a way to lose life. While we wait, we hydrate. I'm going to have to get a refill in a second. Yeah, so like letting the amulet go is fine because the amulet's not killing us. the mana is not killing us, but the payoff to the amulet could be. If it's a Titan, we're losing anyway. Or if it's a Titan, that would be a reason to counter the amulet, but I don't think he had enough mana to Titan there. So it means it would have to be like a Dryad. And if he had the Dryad, we weren't beating that anyway. So might as well just let the amulet go. Alright, let me get water real quick while we wait. Alright, got you on the hydrate. Oh. This hand's not great. We're not getting Tarmogoyf online turn 2. We're ways off of this shadow. This hand is significantly worse. Okay. So let's bottom Wraith and it's probably just 2 Wraiths. I think it is. They kept 7. All right. Bottomed Wraith. Do I mind drawing those again? Probably not. Okay. It's a thick Goyf. Bauble gives us active Delirium, as well as growing Tarmogoyf. Alright. Well, I know what I'm pretty sure we got to kill. Gee damn, that Goyf is thick. Yes, it is. Drawing a Garenbrig. So I could trophy the Dryad now, but I kind of want them to draw this Garenbrig because it's not like a live draw that kills me. So what I'm going to do is go to their draw step, let them draw the Garenbrig, and then trophy the Dryad. And their one unknown was Titan, or packed for a Titan. Whew. Yep. Modern seems so fun right now. Yeah, Modern right now is in a pretty good spot. Like, obviously, there's a couple cards that we've talked about on the stream that I think, for the selfish purposes, I wouldn't mind seeing out of the format. Not that I think they're ban worthy or overpowered or anything like that, but just because I'm not a fan of the design of some of these cards. Yeah. Like, I knew as soon as that Titan was getting to attack, we were kind of done, but that's how it goes. We had to mold a 5 that game, so it's not really that likely for us to win on a mold that low. Teferi, Veil of Summer. Those are 2 of them, but it's like Teferi, Veil of Summer, Skyclave Apparition. I just think are like poorly designed cards. I'm not out here calling for like a ban on any of them or anything like that. I just think that Modern would be more fun if those cards were errated, not like out of the format in general. Like, if they came around and said, okay, well, Teferi, we're going to switch around as +1 and static. Cards instantly more fun. Or Skyclave Apparition, if you can interact with it on the stack. I think Death Shadow is a poorly designed card. Psh. I think not Teferi, Stoneforge Mystic was a poorly designed card. Get out of here. Lingering Souls was a poorly designed card. Yeah, see, I can do this too. This is like just a solid Grixis Shadow hand, right? Let's see. We want our shadows back when we destroy your O-Ring. Exactly. Like, there's no reason that they should have had that design in place for so long and then out of nowhere decide, like, no, we're going to swap it. We're going to go back to the old ways. Urza's Tower. Basic land is poorly designed. 100% agree. Every land should be a shock land. In fact, let me take 3 off of my shocks. I'll suffer through it for the sake of content. Karn Liberated. Alright, fetch land there is really good. Now I can play out Shadow, hold up Stubborn Denial if I want. Could also just be mana efficient and play out Goyf. They have second Tron land. They do not have third Tron land. But third Tron land is almost guaranteed on the top of their deck. Taking bets now. So Mind Star. Alright, we have to take a turn off and let our opponent draw it. Please, opponent, be nice and merciful. That's not a Tron land. Fetch land. Not a fetch land. We're just a simple man that wants simple fetch lands for simple lethal. So close. Something, something, simple fetch land, simple lethal. We'll also take Simple Shock Land for Simple Lethal. Oh, I'm supposed to stub this. I think I do. For the sole purpose that it's like neutering our clock. Alright. We are determined to win through a Wormcoil Engine. No Tronland Karn Bridge. No Tronland Karn Bridge. Dang it. All is Dust. Why on earth are you playing All is Dust? Alright. Fetch land for a bolt. Give us that anticlimactic ending. Uh-huh. Take your pick. Fetch land for a bolt. Any fetch land does it.
You know what?
What do you think about the change where having negative life total doesn't pump Shadow extra? I think it's a pity. I mean, how many times in Modern has that come up? Fetch land. Fetch land. One time. No. Fetch land. You can have my Fatal Push. You got it. Opponent, I would like to kill you, but I literally can't. Fetch land. Holy crap. Ha ha ha. Ugh. Get wrecked, Karn. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Oh, man. Alright. As much as I hate to cut Bolt after that fantastic display there. Actually. Alright. No justice. That was great justice. Karma for shitting on Stoneforge and Lingering Souls. Yeah, you see who came out being right in the end, right? Us. Us. How's List felt? List has felt pretty solid. I can't complain too terribly much about it. Obviously, with like the recent bans, we've still got a lot of shakeup going on in Modern. So I don't have 100% certainty when I say like, oh, this list is optimal or anything like that. But I think it's very solid. And I'm enjoying where it's at the moment. Double All is Dust. Sphere, yep. Mine, yep. You have Ancient Stirrings too. You just got map. So I need to get down. oof this turn. Stop this map from getting cracked. Alright, so if I'm playing Goyf here, which I think I do have to, like, I need to speed up my clock as much as I can. And it's kind of like if they draw the third Tron land naturally, they draw it. But the upside is like this. I get to speed up the clock by a lot, hold up interaction, and there's a good chance they're just dead next turn. I'll just stick it to the man here. 'Cause that's what you get for playing Blast Zone.
I'm like chilling on the ground, like looking for where this here it is coming from, and then all of a sudden
I guess.
just walks past me. I'm like, oh, thanks, man.
Woo. Could have been dicey. Could have been dicey. So our one loss this league so far was to Amulet Titan. Game 3, we just like didn't see good shadow hands on a mold of 5. It happens. Lamal Corey. Can hear him as well. Victorious Champion. If that's not the most like prestigiously sounding gamer tag I've ever seen, I don't know what it is. Alright. Let's just bottom Battle Rage and start trying to get threats down. So, what do we think? Jund or Rakdos mid-range? Blackcleave Cliffs could easily be either one of those. Why 4-color over Grixis Shadow, Traverse and Goyf, Trevi? Traverse and Goyf mostly. Just like the threat consistency that those kind of cards add is pretty relevant. Take Goyf. Maybe I get to snag like a Lily. No Lily. Yeah, we'll just take the Wrenn. I'm not too terribly afraid of Kroxa with this hand. Even if it is a fancy art Kroxa. Fetch land. We get down double shadow. No. Alright, Blood Parade off the top for them. We've entered into some awkward territory on our side. Fatal Push. That one doesn't do much. Hit me with your best shot. I didn't expect that to work.
He's more aiming.
I mean, they're a fetch land away from Kroxa, which is something. We're a fetch land away from getting to double spell, which is something. Traverse can find us a fetch land. I think that's probably where we're at. Sick Pat Minotaur cover. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to inspire the newer generations with these sick lyrics. All right.
He asked this guy what he's like.
Croaks me. I dare thee. Whew. Whew. It's tough being this good. Oh, man. Alright, Veils, K commands. Trophy, bring in a couple spell bombs because Kroxa is a magic card. Take out Battle Rages, cut a couple Street Wraiths, and a couple of these janky hand disruption spells. And we'll call it a day.
He's trying to orient.
Yeah, I agree. They should not have attacked that first Bloodbraid hit. It's like letting us get onto the board was a pretty big downside. If they could have just like waited until they had an extra land, got Kroxa back, and start making us discard shadows, like game goes a completely different direction. So this hand's pretty solid. We get access to like all of our non-red colors, which is pretty good. Got some decent interaction. His opponent on Veil of Summer. They are not. So, what I'm usually thinking about when I'm looking at a hand like this is Liliana is far and away the best card against me. Sure. But with Stubborn Denial and Drown in the Loch, I've got two answers to Liliana already. So, do I want to be more tempo oriented and take like the Fatal Push? Or do I want to be value oriented and take the Liliana? Because basically, if I take the Liliana, I'm not really playing Shadows out until I can deal with this Fatal Push with like Stubborn Denial. It's probably just safer. Like, I think if this were a fetch land, and I had like fetch land, Street Wraith in hand, I'd probably take the Fatal Push. And just like turn 2, slam double Death Shadow, and go from there. But as we can see, that's not how things lined up. After this league, can we go over what would be, in your experienced opinion, the optimal build of 4-color? I can go over like cards that I think are better positioned for better or for different like 4-color metas, but it's hard to determine what a optimal build of the deck as a whole would be. Fulminator Mage, sure. It's like it's hard to say, oh yeah, like this is the optimal build of uh, like 4-color shadow because it's gonna change from meta to meta. Like at the moment we don't really have a defined meta in modern, but I can certainly go over like cards that I think are more or less important right now, if that would help. Or cards that I think are like better positioned at the moment that I would try to find room for. Tarmogoyf, sure. So I can get this Scourge up to a 5/5. But I'd have to put a land in the yard so it could be eaten by Tarmogoyf plus something else. But I've got Drown. I'm kind of just seeing if they're going to block here. Fulminator in 2021 in this economy. I mean, people like their pet cards, right? Surely they're not like trying to bait a Fulminator target, right? Like they Fulminator this breeding pool, they add creature to the yard. Like overall I'm pretty fine with how that traded out.
Hey, Magnella's taking my picture.
I know 2 of their 5 cards are 2 Verdant Catacombs.
Oh, it's funny, Ghost Knights, and you just pulled the opposite. Oh, Christ, scared me, dude. Yeah. He pulled the opposite.
Another Tarmogoyf, okay.
I didn't even see him. I just see my deja vu to like playing like the next gen. And all of a sudden, deja vu.
Now just main phase, go for this Fatal Push. Dang. So, like, I'm bobbling or spell bombing them regardless because I want to get this fatal push out of the yard if they're going to Ren Emblem. But if I hit the Scourge, then they can't Ren Emblem, so... Now, if they just have another removal spell, we're dead. Sure. Pretty positive this doesn't matter. Yep. Alright. That second Bloodbraid into Tarmogoyf, I think, was the deciding factor there. They just kind of needed bodies. They kept finding them. But that's okay. That's why we got game 3. Alright. So I'm actually kind of a fan of taking the draw in these matchups. When it's like a big resource fight, then mulliganing on the play can often be like an absolute death sentence. Yep. Take what you like. Our hand is pretty alright. Take my veil, you say? Push, Bloodbraid, Ren and 6. Well, I guess we're taking a Ren. And seeing kind of how we want to navigate these upcoming turns. Alright. I could play Tarmogoyf and just give them like a really good tempo turn of like end of turn fatal push. But I don't think I really want to do that. So if they hit land, I've got K command, kill Bloodbraid, make them discard. If they miss land, I've just got like discard, get back Street Wraith. If this hits like Lily or something, I might stub plus bolt. Alright, I don't like this because I don't like just giving them an opportunity to like 1 mana kill a Tarmogoyf and play something else. Kroxa. Kroxa is a really solid one for them, unfortunately. Kuon the Ogre, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out. Push a Goyf. Okay. I can't play out the second Goyf because of this fatal push I know about, so does that mean I want to Kroxa, or not Kroxa, K command, discard, get back something? Let's get back Street Wraith. It's like I know they're going to Kroxa this turn. At least I assume they're going to Kroxa this turn. So if they do that, I discard Street Wraith. Or am I digging for an answer? Maybe it's discard Tarmogoyf, dig for an answer. No. All right, what's my best line to get from here to winning? Because, like, let's say I play out Shadow plus Goyf. And my opponent has, like, removal spell for Shadow. Is that helping me win? Or is like Luris, hope they don't have removal, play Shadow from the yard after I discard it to Kroxa. Is that my line to win? And I think the odds are a little bit better playing out double threat here. Mainly because if my opponent doesn't have anything, then just attacking into a shadow recklessly can be a huge risk. So we'll attack Goyf. Like, if they draw a removal spell and they get to kill my shadow, then them attacking with Kroxa is like putting me so far behind anyway that I'm not really beating that. Or I guess they do get to just, yeah, attack with Kroxa. I block, they double fetch, get back Kroxa again. I needed to draw a non-land. Yeah, needed to draw a non-land card. Preferably a Fatal Push. Ugh. Oh well. We've seen Kroxa mess up our plans for a good league plenty of times now. All right. So let's see. Thoughts on how that league went. Spellbombs and Yixlid Jailer, I think, are getting like worse and worse as the weeks go on. Like, people are just finding out that Dredge probably isn't where they want to be long term. Delays were Like, we kept seeing hands with delay and no clock behind them. Everything else, Collector was probably fine, right? Looked decent against Tron. These were fine for the most part. Maybe you just want some more consistency with like an extra trophy in the main or somewhere around there, but a lot of it really minor advantages, disadvantages between one and the other. So let's see. Ramo wanted to go over some optimal cards. So let's take a look at